podcast made by basketball fans for basketball fans. From the hottest takes, news, analysis, and passion for the sport that we all love, this is the Fast Break Pod with Finn James and Will Tremaine. Welcome into the Fast Break Podcast, the podcast made by basketball fans.
For basketball fans.
Finn James.
Will Tremaine.
Back again with another episode 37 here.
We're getting close to that 1 year mark, Finn.
Do you know how scary that is?
It doesn't feel like a year.
Somehow consistently done, apart from that 1 week where I was in Australia, an episode every week.
Yeah.
It's paying off. Consistency pays off.
We've done well, bro.
Yeah, I think so too.
Let's pat ourselves on the back for that.
Almost there. Thank you for all the support on the previous episode with Dante. It's done very well. I hope you guys enjoyed having him on. We'll be sure to get some more guests on in the future, of course, as well.
Yeah, as always, let us know down below what guests you'd like to see us get on the podcast. And if we can, we'll try our best efforts to get them on.
Obviously, it has to be quite realistic. Like, I'm not going to get Arnold Schwarzenegger on or Barack Obama. But, you know, somebody local, maybe.
Yeah.
Or you never know. Usain Bolt might want to come on.
Okay,
LeBron James.
Chill out.
I mean, he's a big fan of the pod. Both of them, I'm pretty sure.
Alright.
They've been in the DMs.
On that note, Super Rugby.
Yeah,
what's been happening, Finn?
Let's see what's on the pod today. World news.
It's a shorter episode today.
Probably a shorter episode today. Obviously, the normal world news we'll run through very shortly. No Cells NBL for the last week, and I think most of next week is off as well with a bit of an international window. The Tall Blacks and Boomers, as well as the Tall Ferns and the Opals, had a Trans-Tasman Throwdown 3-game series, which wrapped up earlier today. So we'll be going through that for all the Tall Blacks fans. Bit of a mixed bag here, but we'll be getting into that very soon. And of course, we'll be casting our eye over the second round of the NBA playoffs, which has been, honestly, unpredictable, exciting, and everything in between.
Crazy.
So we'll be diving into that as much as we possibly can before wrapping it up. If you want to skip to anywhere along on the podcast, there'll be time codes down below wherever you want to skip through. But of course, we'll start with a bit of world news, some Super Rugby to wrap, Will.
Yeah, I'll quickly run through the scores here. Brumbies 33 over the Force 14. Crusaders 19. Chiefs 35. Shame the Crusaders lost. They sucked.
Top of the table clash in Christchurch. I think they were up 19-0 too.
Chiefs got the job done.
Yeah.
Shame.
Yeah.
Reds beat the Waratahs 28-21, and the Blues destroyed the Drua 34-5.
Yeah, and they're back in the playoff conversation as well.
As I said.
I think there's about 3 or 4 rounds remaining. It's pretty close. It's going to be quite an entertaining into the Super Rugby season, which has been, in my opinion, one of the most exciting seasons in recent years, especially since before COVID.
Most fans would agree with you, Finn, because attendance numbers are up through the roof.
Apparently,
20% increase, I think it was.
Yeah, I've heard TV numbers have actually gotten a lot higher as well, which is great to see. In terms of some other news, the Warriors continue to go on an absolute tear this season. With a very scrappy 1-point win over the Illawarra St. George Dragons, 14-15. Very scrappy win, considering the Dragons were quite low on the ladder. But they were playing in Illawarra, which they have a very, very bad record in. So it was good to see them get over the line. Luke Metcalf got a game-winning drop goal with about 10 minutes left. So good to see them get a win. I think that's 5 in a row.
I can't help but notice that we're second on the table, but our point differential is +1.
It'd be +1.
Whereas all of the other teams around us in that top echelon of teams are like +30 at least.
And I'll tell you why. The Canberra Raiders game in Vegas, where we got absolutely pumped in the first round, and then when we played Melbourne, we got absolutely pantsed. And then all of our wins have been pretty close. So it makes sense.
You're telling me we're a fluky team that's not going to do anything this year?
I mean, we're second on the table for a reason, but yeah, I feel like we've had our fair share of close games that could have gone either way. But we've been on the good end so far. So
you know what I'm going to announce here, Finn?
Okay.
I'm going to start supporting an NRL team.
Go on, who's it going to be?
And it's not going to be the Warriors.
Well, who is it?
I see all these people around me supporting like specific Aussie teams and whatnot. The one team I haven't seen anyone supporting is the new team. I think it's like their second or third year. The Dolphins. I'm going to support the Dolphins. Because I don't know any other Dolphins fans, so I'm hopping on the Dolphins new team bandwagon, and that's my team.
You could also wait until, I think it's not next season, but the season after. The Perth Bears are coming back.
Ooh.
A Perth team.
Oh, wait, are we going to get a Christchurch team?
Nah, it's not announced yet. They put a bid in, but a Perth team will be in the next couple of years.
You know what? I'll hold out till New Zealand get a second team, and I'm gonna hop on the New Zealand second team bandwagon.
Fair enough.
That's what I'm gonna
do. This is our year. UFC. Well, there was a UFC 315.
Oh,
Montreal. Mate. Great card, was it?
phenomenal.
Yeah?
I'm so happy right now. Jack Della Maddalena, as they like to call him, JDM. New welterweight champion of the world. I'm ecstatic. He's one of my favorite fighters in the UFC. Local Aussie lad from Perth. And he's just been on a tear since he entered the UFC. I think he's like 6-0, 7-0.
Sweet.
Lots of finishes, and he got his opportunity to get the strap against I can't remember his name actually.
Quick Google
joking.
search.
His name's Bilal Muhammad.
Oh.
His nickname is Remember the Name. So
Oh, wait,
cringe
really?
little.
Wow, I was actually convinced you couldn't remember him.
No.
That's his nickname?
That's his
Remember the
nickname.
name.
Remember the
but
name.
you couldn't remember it today because he got...
Well,
was he
he's
dominated?
notorious for not really being most well liked of champions.
wow.
He's quite a boring fighter. He's never had a finish in his life.
Really?
So yeah,
What? So, not even
pillow
submissions?
hands. That's what I call
Not
them.
even submissions?
Oh, he's got some submissions, but no knockouts.
Mostly just like 5-round matches.
Yeah, I call him Bilal Pillow Hands Muhammad.
Wow.
So I'm just glad that Aussie's got a second champs now. It's him and Volk are running it.
Yeah.
They're running the show now, and
good.
might have to get over for another UFC
Oh,
Australia card. Who knows? With
Who
Volk and
knows?
JDM headlining.
Can't wait for hopefully a Kiwi to be getting a belt soon. I mean, Carlos Olberg surely, light heavyweight, might be getting a title shot in the near future.
He's unlikely to get the next shot because they're probably going to do the Pereira versus Ankalaev rematch. And in the meantime, I think they're going to force him to fight Yuri Prochazka, which is going to be a tough challenge.
Fight.
But if he gets the job done there, he's undisputably next in line for a title shot, which would be great.
And is Izzy probably done? He's not going to get it again.
Izzy's not done, I don't think. I think he's spoken in some announcements that he's keen to have another fight. But yeah,
He won't be getting a title.
No, in terms of him getting a title, let alone a title shot again, I don't think it's happening unless. I mean, he's got name value. That's the only thing that's really going for him at the
He's
moment.
getting a bit old, eh?
Yeah.
People are figuring him out now.
Decide if he wants to keep going, if he's still got that hunger. But now we got guys on the come up. We got
pretty sure
Carlos Olberg.
Pretty sure we have I don't know if this has been announced yet, and I won't announce it because I should probably keep it hush-hush, but I'm pretty sure a Kiwi might be getting a title shot very soon.
Oh, I know that you've heard it through the grapevine, Finn, but so have I. It's all over Instagram. Kai Kara France is getting a title shot next. It's all but confirmed. It's been announced for like 2 months.
What? He's featherweight, right?
No, he's flyweight.
Oh, flyweight.
Smallest division.
Yeah, and who's the flyweight champion?
Alejandro Pantoja from Brazil.
Do you give Kai Kara France a good chance at getting the title?
I would have to lean non-biasedly. I'd have to lean Pantoja. He's proven to be quite dominant in the flyweight division, but I think Kai definitely of the flyweights will probably give him his toughest test, and he's got that one-punch knockout power that not many flyweights possess. So I think he could definitely catch Pantoja.
I don't get how somebody... I mean, he's quite a short guy. I think he's like 5'4".
Well, they're 125 pounds.
Yeah,
I don't know what that is in
60, maybe 50-something kegs.
I think it's 50
It's crazy because you wouldn't want to pick a fight with him.
No.
Like, if I saw him in a bar, despite him being a whole foot shorter than me, he would rock my shit in like a second. His knockout power for such a small fella.
Bro.
And he's not small. He's quite obviously a built.
Well, he's
a
small.
UFC fighter.
He's
like
tiny.
a smaller human. Man, he packs a bloody good punch.
Bro, it doesn't
His
matter.
knockout power is crazy.
He's knocking out whoever he wants.
Because flyweight, typically you wouldn't see a lot of knockouts, right? Because
No.
they're quite, well, I wouldn't say weaker, but smaller people.
They're smaller. They don't have as much power, so they don't get as many knockouts. But for me personally, like if you want a technical fight, flyweights are the most fun to watch.
Yeah.
Because what they lack in power, they make up for with speed and just technique.
Yeah,
and
like
they
little jabs.
sometimes put on the most entertaining fights.
Sick.
So, it's
But
awesome.
Kai just comes in with a big punch.
Well,
eh?
he's unique like that because he's like one of few flyweights that has that one punch knockout power. So, I mean, he could catch Pantoja for sure. I'd put a sneaky little bet on there for him to win by KO. If he's gonna win, it will be by KO. So, but that's happening. That's been
Hopefully it's in the near
around
future.
for, like-
I'd be very keen to sit down and watch that. Obviously,
sure,
if any
bro.
Kiwis are fighting on cards, especially for titles, why would you not watch it?
I mean, we got Kai Olberg and Dan Hooker as well, who are all kind of like in the mix, who are like 1 or 2 fights away from a title shot.
Crazy.
So, it's a
Dan
good time.
Hooker never got that fight against Conor McGregor we thought was going to happen.
Conor
Conor
McGregor's
McGregor
done,
just
bro.
a yapper.
Yeah.
That's all for the world news, though. We'll move on.
We went on for a bit there, didn't we?
What's been going on in the international basketball scene? Tall Blacks versus Boomers, Tall Ferns versus Opals, the Trans-Tasman Throwdown, the first edition of the series ever. Obviously, there's a slight rivalry between the two Tasman teams, like the cross the ditch bros or whatever you want to bloody
In
call
every
them.
sport, really.
Of course. But this is the first time we've seen a series, I think, between the two sides. Are you a big fan of this? Are you happy that it's happened, given, the Sal's NBL a bit of a break over this time? Were you interested at all? Did you get down and watch any of the games?
In all honesty, nah, I'm not really the biggest fan. I know it's our national team,
Yeah.
and I should be more patriotic. But to be perfectly honest, I'd rather just like an extra game, an extra round of the Sal's NBL.
Yeah, fair.
I have not been that invested in this little 3-game tournament against Australia. I feel as though it's just like we weren't expected to win this at all. It's against Australia. They're just like by far the better team than us. They have numerous NBA players. We've just got Steven Adams. They're definitely like a few years ahead of us in terms of development.
Yeah.
And then it also helps that they have like 5-6 times the population of us as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can't lie. I wasn't that invested in this series.
So I'm assuming you didn't see the squads for either teams
I
either. then.
I didn't see the Australian squad. I did see the Kiwi squad.
So I'll run you through the Australian team. No NBA players were playing. So it was a very weakened. It was a very weakened Boomers side compared to normal. In terms of the Tall Blacks,
were there NBL players in the Australian side?
yeah. So led by Xavier Cooks, Dejan Vasiljevic, Angus Glover, Owen Foxwell, Elijah
Foxwell.
Pepper. Yeah, players like that. So there were some younger dudes, there were some older NBL guys, but for the most part, you weren't seeing Daly, you weren't seeing Duop Reith, you weren't seeing Giddy, like you weren't seeing any of the guys from the Olympics.
Oh, thank
Other
God.
than Xavier Cooks, like Jack McVeigh, obviously he wasn't playing either, who has a massive part in Boomer's success. But
I mean, if any of those NBA players played for them, they're winning by 40 or 50.
yeah, so in terms of our team, we had I feel like a solid squad, gave a lot of younger players a bit of a go, like Julius Halafanua, Jackson Ball, Tama Isaac, Oscar Goodman. They all got to put on the black singlet for the 3 games. The best player that probably came to play, I mean, Finn Delaney got called in for the last game, I think. However, I mean, he's been over in Japan, I think Europe as well, so he didn't really... He kind of came in, hasn't been with the team in camp or anything, so didn't really play the greatest.
I saw
but
Toby Smith-Milner was in there as well.
Toby Smith-Milner, Shea Ely, Taylor Britt, Walter Brown,
Kai
Isaac, Carlin Davidson, so a few
Max
players
Darling.
like that. Max Darling. So it was a solid team. Corey Webster and Flynn Cameron were unfortunately injured prior, leading up to the game.
Definitely
they were
wasn't
in the
our
squad.
best team either.
Nah, I feel like we definitely have some players. I mean, like Yanni Wetzel's not there. Sam
Isaac
Wallenberg wasn't
Fotu.
playing.
All those
Isaac
kind of
Fotu.
guys.
Yeah, we had players that weren't there that could have definitely helped quite a bit.
Yeah.
We went down in the series 2-1.
2-0.
No, we won today.
Oh, right. I thought
we went down 2-0 and then we won today. So we lost the whole series 2-1. So the first game was in Adelaide. It was the only game I did watch. So I watched the game on Wednesday in Adelaide, and surprisingly, we were up at halftime, playing really well, and then somebody put a cover on the hoop because we scored 26 points and a half and ended up getting blown out. And then in terms of the game on Friday night in the Sunshine Coast, a bit of the same story, lost by about 30.
Were they all in Australia?
The last game tonight was in Hamilton.
Right.
And they got up 106 to 97. So a very good change of, pace for the boys. I mean, they could barely clock 70 points in the first 2 games. Go out and score 106. So positive signs, I think.
Well, that's good. We can just argue that they won just because they had home court advantage.
You could always say that. But yeah, we got essentially pantsed in the first couple games. Elijah Pepper was playing very well. Cooks, Dejan was going crazy. We couldn't score for shit, I'll be honest with you. And in this game, some very positive signs. Actually, in game 2 as well, surprisingly. The latest Breakers signing in Taylor Britt was featuring in this Tall Blacks team, who has a pretty extensive career playing for the Tall Blacks. Obviously, been very impressive in the in the Canterbury Rams too. 23 points, 9 boards, and 8 assists in the win today.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely
really
what we wanna
impressive. I was thinking, considering Britt hasn't played in the Australian NBL since I think 2020, where he was a development player on Perth when they got the chip. And we signed him to that 2-year deal with Judd Flavel coming along as well. I was a little bit skeptical to see how he would perform in a higher level, despite him being quite dominant in the Sal's NBL.
I mean, if this is how he's going to play in the black jersey, I'm very optimistic about him playing in the Breakers next season. I mean, maybe you can just argue that it was kind of a bit of luck, but at the same time, he's a very talented player. Like, he's in the NZNBL for a reason, starting on the Canterbury Rams. I think I should be more optimistic about Taylor Britt. I think he could play a decent role coming off the bench for the Breakers.
Because I feel like when he first signed, you and I got on the pod and we were both
a bit negative.
Sort of, yeah, I think negative is the right word. I feel like the only reason he sort of got in was because of the Judd Flavel aspect of him.
I think that was unfair of us.
I think I might have been jumping to conclusions. Obviously, Taylor Britt has really proved himself as a very good point guard in this country. I think he won Most Improved Player of the Year last year on Canterbury.
Yeah.
I mean, the players that are in this Australian Boomers team are the players he will be matching up against when it comes to the NBL season. Obviously, he's not going to be the starting point guard on the Breakers.
No.
He's going to be that backup for whoever the import is that we signed to start at one. PJC, please, I beg you. But what I'm saying is, like, considering he's putting up, I mean, these are great numbers on good efficiency from the field. He's going to be matching up against these guys on the NBL court coming off the bench for those backup minutes. So positive signs. And I think we were maybe a bit too quick to judge.
For sure, I agree. And yeah, hopefully he balls out like this in the Breakers jersey. Won't be that pink one though.
No.
But yeah, entertaining little 3-game series. Even though I might not have been the biggest fan of it. Sal's NBL, like you said, starts back up next week. I think we got a game, Tauranga versus I can't remember. But
yeah, I haven't actually looked
not much to break down for that next week. But then after that, we'll be back in full swing of NZNBL. But what else has been happening at the moment, Finn? The NBA playoffs, man, this has been entertaining. Round 2 is underway. Warriors, Wolves, OKC, Denver, Celtics, Knicks, and Cavs, Pacers. All the away teams for the first time in NBA history won Game 1, which was very unexpected.
Yeah, very unexpected.
And then not only that, the Pacers and the Knicks both went up 2-0 against the Cavs and the Celtics, which I again don't think anyone had foreseen coming. But today, the Celtics and the Cavs, Cavs yesterday, both respectfully got back a win. And I'll say it now, I think both of those teams come back and win these series. For sure the Cavs. I don't see the Pacers beating the Cavs. Knicks Celtics could be a bit closer for me, but I think the Celtics still get the job done in 7. What about you, Finn? As for the Cavs, I think they beat the Pacers in 6. I don't see the Pacers winning another game.
Yeah, so funny. Obviously, Clippers get eliminated in the first round. Obviously, my interest is still there for this playoff series, of course. However,
you're speaking to a Blazers fan.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know how you do it every year. My interest in the Eastern Conference in the first round was quite low, other than maybe the Bucks series, but even that...
Pistons Knicks was good.
Pistons was good. But other than the Bucks series, I was sort of uninterested, but with Dame getting injured, it just kind of went on a landslide.
Cheers for reminding me.
Apologies. But with the Knicks and the Pacers stealing 2 games away, all of a sudden I am so damn interested in what's happening in the Eastern Conference. Because earlier, obviously, when we did our predictions, I had the Celtics winning the entire thing. I had them coming out the East pretty comfortably. I had them... Oh.
I might need to choose a new champion, by the way, in this episode.
Yeah, we will.
Because the Bucks ain't winning it all.
No. Oh, I wonder why. So... I have the Celtics coming out and taking it all when it comes to the NBA Finals. And when the Knicks went up 2-0 on stupid games at TD Garden, because the Celtics were leading by 20 points in both games.
Yeah.
And whoever put a cover on the rim in the second half, in the third and fourth quarter...
Second time using that quote. Might have to trademark it.
Might have to. They stopped learning how to shoot 3-pointers in those 2 games. But then, obviously, today... It was today, The game... Was it this morning?
Game 3.
They had a lot of threes today and got a pretty comfortable win.
Yeah.
In
New York.
In New York as well.
Have won. Same with the Cavs.
That's so interesting. Series. So interesting, yeah.
I think it... I was talking to Adam the other week. Former guest of the podcast. Two-time guest. He was saying he doesn't think home court matters as much as people say it is. Maybe Denver, it matters a lot because of the altitude. Yeah. But for all these other teams, especially if they are close by, because New York and Boston are somewhat close. Cleveland and Indiana, I think they're somewhat close as well. Maybe the traveling doesn't really affect them much, and then the fans have kind of just learnt how to get over that.
The Eastern Conference is so much more condensed than the West.
For sure.
Way more condensed. Obviously all the central teams are within an hour's drive of the stadium and things like that.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
So they have fans from their own teams.
Yeah, they can drive
into the game.
I think you might be right. You know what? I've actually thought about this. There's probably a lot of players in the league that thrive off hitting a big shot in an away team's building and just hearing silence.
There's been a few of them, like, standout players so far in this playoffs. Aaron Gordon, he's hit 2 game winners.
Just don't remind me.
Jalen Brunson's hit 2 game winners as well, I think.
Halley's been really
Halley
good.
hit, what, 2 game? He's hit 2 game winners,
I think so.
He had that insane step back one over the Cavs.
Sam Merrill was
that game 1? That was game 1, I think.
Game 2.
Over the Cavs?
Yeah. Game 2.
Crazy step back 3. And that was the most insane ending I've seen of a playoff game in a while.
The last 50 seconds was an 8-0 run to the Pacers, and the Cavs had 2
They were down
turnovers.
7.
And
Tyrese Halliburton shot a free throw, made the first, missed the second,
Miles
got
Turner
his rebound,
tipped it to him,
dribbled it out, and then ISO'd on, I forget, Sam Merrill, step back 3 for the game.
Yeah.
Crazy.
But
I hate him.
Yeah, you do. His what is it? The efficiency or percentage of converting go-ahead buckets or something this year was like 90%. It was ridiculous. Yeah, it was like one of the highest in the industry.
Still voted the most.
What are your actual thoughts on Tyrese Halliburton? You said to me the other day he might not even be a borderline top 15 point guard in the NBA.
Well, he's for sure not top 10. I think he slots into that top 15, maybe at 15. But
that is so crazy
at all. Name me one of those point guards I told you the other day that you think Halliburton's better than. I'll remind you. Steph, Dame, Kyrie, Luka, Shea, Brunson, Cade, Maxey, LaMelo, Trey, Fox. That's 11, and I know I'm forgetting some out there.
You're missing somebody
The followers can let us know down below in the comments.
You're missing somebody from a team that I support.
James Harden. I'll take James Harden over Halliburton.
James Harden had a better year than Halliburton.
That's 12 that we've just named right there.
Yeah.
And there's players I'm forgetting. I don't rate Halliburton at all. You watch his game, all he does is
Jamal Murray
Jamal Murray, there's another one.
What, the whole season though?
Darius Garland as well.
Yeah, true.
Yes, you just watch him. He just dribbles up the ball, drives into the paint, and doesn't even look to score. He just immediately turns his head around and just like dishes it out to whoever he sees on the 3-point line. That's why he's got so many assists. He's not a good playmaker.
That's harsh.
No, he's not.
He's a good passer.
His numbers are just inflated because he just passes it all the time. And look what he did in Game 3. He had like 5 points in that game.
Yeah.
Insane. He's so overrated. But anyway, I'll stop slandering him. If you're a Pacers fan, I apologize.
If we look into that series, though, are you thinking a reverse sweep is on the card here? Obviously, Pacers got 2-0. Cavs take Game 3. I mean, no DeAndre Hunter, Mobley, or Garland in Game 2, and they almost won. Donovan Mitchell with 48 points. And then
43 in Game 3 as well.
Yeah, and he's continued to be a ball hog, but he's shooting I think he's shooting around 50% from the field. I mean, you can't really complain about that.
I think he's up there as one of the greatest playoff risers as well
Donovan
in
Mitchell?
NBA history.
Him in the bubble was pretty cool.
Remember him in his Jazz days. He was dropping that series against Denver where him and Jamal were just trading 50 pieces.
Yeah.
Crazy.
That was a great series. That was peak basketball, man, the NBA bubble. But do you think, would you put money on it, the Cavs win the next 3 games?
I wouldn't put money on it.
But you're confident.
I'm broke, but... right. Yeah, I got Cavs in 6. That would be my professional advice.
Wow.
My amateur advice, I should say.
It'll be interesting. I think.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised, man, if the Pacers steal another one. I think the Pacers have built a really good playoff basketball team. I mean,
their luck's run out.
Halliburton, as much as you don't like him, I feel like he does what he needs to do. When you have who's been, in my opinion, one of the best playoff performers in rises this offseason is Andrew Nembhard. He's been very, very good. Aaron Nesmith as well has been very, very good.
Yeah, those two guys.
Pascal, he's an all-star. He's
dropped off the last 5 games.
He hasn't been as good, but he's still an all-star player that you have. And, of course, Miles Turner as well. They actually have a pretty good team.
They have a great team. Yeah. Benedict Mathurin as well.
He actually had a really good Game 3.
And also, TJ McConnell, bro.
Underrated. Very underrated player.
Such a good
Might not be the most skilled dude ever, but, man, he is such a hard worker. I mean,
high energy, bro.
I saw him on a podcast recently, and he said... I don't know, he joined a team and Yvette told him, you could be the most skilled player in the NBA, but if you're outworked by a mediocre player, you're not going to play ahead of him. And he's like the guy that's picking up people full court every possession, just being an absolute pest.
He brings so much energy, bro. And even on offense, he just dribbles a ball at 100 kilometers per hour right to the basket.
Effort thing, man.
And then just puts up a little jumper and it goes in. He's tough, bro.
An effort thing. He's like one of those players that you need on a playoff team.
For sure.
But... the Cavs run deep, bro.
They've got the best big 4 in basketball, in my opinion.
Wow. Better than the Celtics?
I mean, the Celtics is what? Tatum, Brown, Kristaps, and
White.
Yeah.
That's a.
Give me the Cavs, bro. Give
You're
me the
taking
Cavs.
Mobley, Allen, Garland, and Mitchell over them.
Yeah. Especially in the playoffs.
That is. Oh.
Give me D-Mitch over Tatum in the
Yeah,
playoffs.
he has been better.
What is
You're
second
taking
options?
Garland over. Are you taking Garland over Brown?
I'll take Mobley over Brown. 'Cause I think
Okay.
Mobley's their second best player. Arguably their first and most important player. D-boy.
Defensively, yeah.
Give me him over Jaylen Brown. Give me Garland over Derek White. And
Allen over Porzingis.
maybe Porzingis wins that one, but
but
3-0 in the other one.
Interesting. I'd love to know what other people's opinions on that. I feel like that hasn't been spoken about enough.
Big fours.
Very interesting.
That's what we're speaking about nowadays.
Yeah. Celtics versus Knicks, though. If we really look deep into this series, I think this goes to a game 7.
I agree.
I think the Knicks. I mean, I don't know if they're playing tomorrow in New York. I think
They are, I think.
I think they get one more at home. So
Man, if they win the next game in New York,
it's gonna be interesting.
that's a 3-1 series. We know how those usually go.
Yeah, and then game 6 would be in
Boston.
New
New York as well.
and then they would win. I reckon
In 6.
if they win tomorrow, and then
So you're saying they win tomorrow, go up 3-1. Celtics win game 5, 3-2.
and they lose in New York again. I don't know. I feel
You
like
think the Knicks could win?
You
just said it's going 7.
I see that that could happen.
Yeah.
But anything could happen, right? I think the only way the Celtics lose is if they shoot horribly from 3, which they did in the second half of the first 2 games. Because they live and die by it. Worse than the 2016 Warriors.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I still think the Celtics... I don't know. I'm very torn on how the series goes.
Tomorrow's game decides the series. If
'Cause
Boston
if
get the win tomorrow, it's 2-2. I think they then win game 5, go
In
up
Boston.
3-2. Knicks win game 6, and then Boston win game 7.
Yeah.
Whereas if the Knicks win tomorrow and they go up
3-1.
3-1, they're icing their series out in game 6 in New York. Like you said.
It's going to go
Interesting.
7. I think this is going to be the next game is the most important, 100%. And
sure.
in front of a hostile Knicks crowd, we know you've all seen clips of New York Knicks fans, the fuck Trae Young chants, like saying how much they love Jalen Brunson. I've seen one fan saying, if I had a younger sister, I'd let Jalen Brunson run a train on her or something like that.
Okay, pause.
Wild, eh? They are that
Crazy.
passionate. They are that passionate, which is like next level. A hostile Knicks and New York environment. It's going to be interesting to see how it goes.
Yeah.
2 fully healthy teams, though, which is what you love to see in the playoffs
I just
too.
can't bear the reality out there that has a Knicks Pacers Eastern Conference
I
Finals.
know.
As much as I despise the Celtics, my ideal Eastern Conference Finals is Cavs Knicks. For me,
Cavs Knicks.
Cavs Knicks. I don't like the Celtics, but
I don't really
I'd
like
rather Cavs Celtics than Knicks Pacers, because the Pacers are my new least favorite team in the NBA. But
Oh wow,
yeah.
that's very interesting.
Anyway, should we cast our eyes over the Western Conference? then?
yeah, which
Denver Nuggets. Hey,
yeah,
what a great team.
fuck Denver. Ruined.
What a great.
You know
team.
what's crazy? You know what? Like, I want the Thunder to like dominate this series going forward, just to have the peace of mind that like if we had somehow put up a fight in Game 7 and won, that we would have just got smoked in the second round.
Well,
But-
I hate to break it to you, they're down 2-1, which is
I know.
pretty crazy considering the game they lost was by, 53?
They got cooked.
OKC scored the most points in a playoff game half in history,
Insane.
87. They were just scoring at will, whatever they wanted.
And Game 1, you know, Aaron Gordon,
Oh, yeah.
who has once
Crazy.
again proven to be one of the best role players in the league, I reckon. He's
Shooting
so
40% from 3
He's
this season.
he's very good at what he does, playing alongside Jokic. I mean, Christian Brown, one of the best transition offense players in the NBA too.
MIP
and-
candidate.
The one thing about Nikola Jokic, and he is just so good against everyone other than Ivica Zubac.
He's an MVP, bro. He's an MVP.
But you're not allowed to take the playoffs into
I know.
consideration
I
when
don't
it
care, but
comes
he's
to
just
the-
proving why he is the MVP.
When does that get announced? That must be soon.
It's the last one that's left, right?
I think so.
Has Coach of the Year been announced?
Yeah, Kenny Atkinson,
Right.
Thunder, of course.
Fair.
Um,
Yeah, that's the last one to
wait,
come.
no, Kenny. Yeah, it is. It is.
Yeah, we had Mobley D-Boy, Dyson Daniels.
No, it was the Thunder coach that won it though.
Oh,
I'm not
right.
tripping, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't seen the Coach of the Year announcement, so you might be just waffling that.
Are you sure? Hold on.
I haven't seen that.
Live on the pod. We're doing a Google search.
But the other ones have been announced, right? Pritchard, sixth man. Mobley, Depoy.
Oh, sorry. Kenny Atkinson from the Cavs. Why did I think he was the Thunder coach? That is so
I was
poor.
going to say, isn't that Mark Dagnall?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Why did I even say that? Who knows? My brain is gone elsewhere. But yes, the
Damn
Cavs.
Cavs.
The Cavs coach won.
But
Coach of
OKC
the
had
Year.
the better record, though.
I know.
Interesting.
Very strange.
Oh, well. So, yeah, OKC are down 2-1 to Denver. And Game 4 is in Denver at altitude. Who knows? This series could shock a lot of fans. I could see Denver winning the series for sure.
I just would be... I'd be so upset.
Aaron Gordon's spoken about winning a ring for Russ.
Okay,
Maybe that's what they're fighting for.
Like, if Denver do win this series, the amount of what-ifs that are going to be running through my head is just...
But won't it give you some ease knowing that you lost to, like, a really good team?
No, because...
If they went on to win it all?
No, because if we had beaten them, then we could have made the conference finals. And
Nah, you guys were getting smoked by OKC.
I don't
That's a 3-0.
think
That's a 3-0 OKC series right now, mate.
No way.
Yeah.
No way. I don't think so. I really don't think so.
Okay.
I think we would have put up a good fight.
Coulda,
And,
shoulda,
like,
woulda.
Game 7 was a write-off, but you look at the other games we lost, like the AG game winner that was 0.01 of a second from not being allowed. There's so many things that...
Can't live in the past.
No,
man.
I can't.
You gotta look to the future.
Which doesn't exist.
Oh boy, sucks to be a Clippers fan, hey? Hey? Yeah, nah, yeah.
In terms of the series, though, you really think the Nuggets can just like take this out?
I think they can win it. I'm still picking OKC to win in 7.
How can you not pick OKC to win considering they had the best record in the NBA? 68 wins is so hard, bro. Considering what they did in Game 2,
yeah,
like, come on, man.
And then Game 1 and 3, the ones that Denver have won, was
Very close.
that Aaron Gordon game winner, and then overtime. They took off in overtime, but still close game.
Shea has been very underwhelming in this series, though.
In comparison
comparing
to regular season stats.
Yes,
sure.
that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got exciting
still young.
series. Yeah, well,
Lacks playoff experience.
yeah, exciting series nonetheless.
What's the last series, Finn?
Wolves Warriors, which has been, I feel like, throwing a bit of a spanner in the works because
Curry's out.
Curry's out potentially for the entire series with that hamstring strain. Is he out?
I think there's a chance he could be back if it went to Game 7, but other than that, I think he's out.
Is
All
this
the
a
other
write-off
games.
then?
I think so.
Yeah.
I'm taking the Wolves. We picked the Wolves. I think the Wolves would still be the Warriors even with Curry. I think we both predicted that.
That's interesting though.
We
Like,
both picked the Wolves in our predictions.
yeah. You
But
look at
now
today's
for sure.
game though. Like, Jonathan Kuminga's finally getting minutes and he's actually playing well.
Steve Kerr's an idiot.
Why
for
have
not playing
Steve
him.
Kerr not played him all year? I guess we'll never
So
know.
dumb.
Draymond Green, just absolute shitter today. Holy.
As per.
It would have been interesting to see the Rockets in this
I can't
series.
stand
against the
Draymond
Wolves.
Green, man.
Oh, neither can I.
Him or Dylan Brooks, who's worse?
Oh, Draymond.
Yeah,
I reckon.
honestly.
Like, Dylan Brooks is a cancer as well, but
But he lives up to that. He's like intentionally kind of.
and he's a
trying to play
far
that
better basketball.
status
He's
now.
a far better basketball player than Draymond Green, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
For sure.
It would have been interesting to see the Rockets in this series, though. I think the Rockets and the Wolves. I feel like
That
would have
would be
been a slightly better matchup wise, because I mean,
Yeah.
the Warriors are once again lacking that. I mean, it's sort of like the Lakers as well. They're lacking a very good, competent center. I mean,
For sure.
Kevon Looney, despite him having loads of experience, I mean, he's not like he used to be. Quinton Post, ass. Trace Jackson Davis, ass.
You started playing him a bunch of minutes in the last couple games. Trace Jackson
Yeah,
Davis.
and he's poos.
Yeah.
Like, Draymond Green is essentially guarding Gobert at most of the time.
Yeah.
Same within the Rocket series. I mean, Draymond Green was guarding Steven Adams when he was on the court.
It'll be interesting to see. Jimmy Butler's obviously got to step up. He played well for the first 3 quarters of the game today and then
Yeah.
just disappeared in the fourth.
Anthony Edwards played well today, didn't he?
I think the Warriors get in. Yeah, Anthony Edwards did have a much needed good game because
Yeah.
he's actually been a bit underwhelming in this playoffs. I was looking
I mean,
back at
they
his stats.
Did you see the stat in the last 2 games of their series against the Lakers? They shot 12 of 76 from the 3-point line.
Insane.
And they still managed to win. Crazy,
But
yeah.
I think the Warriors get one more win in this series, but I'm taking the Wolves in 6.
It's going to be a good series
Yeah.
for the rest of it. It depends on Curry's health. Depends if Buddy Hield wants to play like he did in Game 7 against the Rockets as well. And it also depends if Steve Kerr wants to continue to play Jonathan Kuminga going forward.
Which they should be.
I think so too.
Very interesting 4 series that we've got ahead of us. Yeah, it's a great time to be a basketball fan. The NBA playoffs is just heaven on earth this time of year.
Oh, it really is. Christmas comes early, but the thing is, the NBA playoffs, it goes for months. So you get Christmas for like 2 months.
It'll be interesting. Still have plenty more, probably, 6-7 weeks of Fast Break podcast episodes talking about NBA playoffs.
We might even do a live watch party for the finals.
Oh, we were saying that.
We have spoken about that. Whether that will happen, I guess we'll never know.
Who knows? We'll find out.
We'll find out down the line. If a team of one of our friends or close mutuals makes the finals, then I think we'll have to do it because it'd be quite funny watching the stress.
Well, our only friends with teams left are
Ben Drown and Reese.
Warriors and Nuggets.
And Satilla.
And I think they're both going out. So, yeah. Oh well. Interesting. Shorter episode this week, guys. But thanks again for tuning in. And yeah, some of these series could be wrapped up by next week's episode. We'll see.
Can't wait.
See you then.